That's right, folks. I'm back in the building. I appreciate you so much. Welcome to I Am Prince Solomon. Right now, I'm going to go ahead and get into a theory of mine. Just a theory. Doesn't mean you have to take my word for it. I appreciate those who listen, and I appreciate those who continue to subscribe. Here's something interesting about the danger of a rapper like Papoose. We all know that Papoose is the significant other to Remy Ma, and we all know about the dry response that we did receive from one Ms. Nicki Minaj and company. Now, here is what is exactly interesting about the subject altogether. Right now, there are a lot of hip-hop fans that are pretty much teetering on the edge of ecstasy as far as looking for some sort of response from Ms. Remy Ma. There have been some people that said, look, it's over. I christened Remy Ma the champion of this so-called motherfucking one-sided battle. Then there are other people who are saying, wait a minute now, didn't Drake or even Lil Wayne to some degree, aren't they taking some sort of participation into the beef? Yes and no. Here's the thing. Nicki Minaj, in her first verse, the only verse she had on the damn song, which as I stated in previous videos, it was genuinely, as far as lyrics go, some pretty solid lyrics, had about 4 vicious bars in there that could have been carried throughout the entire track on a whole diss record by herself, but she chose not to go that route. But on that verse, or within that verse, she made a declaration. She said, me and Drizzy laugh at back to back, or as she christened it, you mean back to whack. Now, Drake is a counterpart to Nicki Minaj. They have had a relationship as far as friends of the industry, or friends within the industry, for quite some time. They've been on the same record label. They've watched each other grow. They had rumors about people saying they were involved, they weren't involved, that Meek Mill was mad at Drake, or that Drake actually had a chance to boink Nicki Minaj, and all of this other type of stuff. However, whatever the case may be, whatever you all choose to believe, Drake and Nicki Minaj effectively have had, at the very least, a very strong artistic relationship. Now, because that is her team, or now it is her team again, she's riding with Young Money. And what she did is she basically positioned Drake to take some of the blowback. When she said, me and Drizzy laughed at that, or me and Drake laughed at your response. In other words, we're laughing about you, or we're laughing at you. We're not laughing with you, Remy Ma. We're laughing about you. Well, with Remy Ma, when she was making her Sheether diss, and then she made her another one diss, she kind of gave Drake some space. Like, I'm not really talking to you, Drake. I'm not really talking at you. I'm talking to the girl standing next to you. Same thing with Lil Wayne. She kind of swept him aside as well. She focused and zeroed in on Nicki Minaj. Now, because it appears to be a team effort, it appears to be a motherfucking team effort by Nicki Minaj and company. Now what it looks like is, oh, it's a triple team against one person, which has been the complaint of many fans who have so far been spectators of this sport. So a lot of people say, hey, what's the deal, Nicki Minaj? You can't carry the shit by yourself. You can't seem to get on board by yourself. Why do you need teams? This is the danger of somebody like Papoose. First of all, many people understand the lyrical dexterity of a rapper like Papoose, an MC like Papoose. This is a man that makes run-on sentences. If anything he will get slighted on in grammar school is run-on sentences. He's a run-on sentences type rapper. He will rap and rap and rap and rap and rap and rap until there's no motherfucking ink left in the goddamn pen. That's the type of motherfucker he is. The attention is on Papoose. The attention is on Remy Ma right now. If Papoose decides to lyrically decapitate someone like Drake, who tried to tap dance around the track, trying to make sure, oh, I'm just showing support. But when Nicki Minaj says in the opening verse, me and Drake laugh, well, homie, you are implicated by association. I.e., she is snitching on First 48 and she pointed your ass out. And you all the way up in Canada and she pointed at you. So, Papoose is a no-nonsense type lyricist. And this is a criticism I do have with certain rappers in hip-hop. If you're going at a rapper, you don't need to give the team some sort of pass. Like, nah, man, I just got a problem with one cat in your crew. It's kind of what got Game and 50 Cent in trouble. when 50 Cent was like, yo, I'm washing all of these New York MCs, and anybody outside of New York that got a problem with me, anybody that associates themselves with Ja Rule, they got a fucking problem with me. So 50 Cent was like, fuck Jadakiss, fuck Fat Joe, fuck Nas, fuck Jay-Z, fuck all the little niggas in between, fuck the little mixtape niggas, fuck the little street team, fuck the fucking caterers, fuck the goddamn waiter, fuck your hotel manager, fuck your manager, fuck everybody. That's how 50 Cent was. And then when they asked Game about this, MTV asked Game, they said, yo, what's up with 50? I mean, I know that's the G-Unit general, and you are either directly into the crew or you are an associated G-Unit member, because people forget at times Game was a G-Unit affiliate. So they asked Game, they said, so Game, what do you think about this? What do you think about him going at Nas, one of the legends in the game? What do you think about him going at Jadakiss, one of the legends in the game? Game says, well, that's 50's beef, and I don't really have a problem with these guys. These guys are legends to me. 50 Cent heard that shit across town, and he said it on the radio. He's out of G-Unit. That's how 50 Cent's no-nonsense, iron-fisted Joseph Stalin policy was. No fucking nonsense. Which is a slight mistake Remy Ma made on her Another One diss record, when she said, basically, I have no problem with Drake, I have no problem with Wayne. Well, on the other side, Drake and Wayne had no problem hopping on the track that Nicki Minaj was clearly dissing you, and she was using them as some sort of shield. She needs that energy to carry her to the top right now. So she has, in a sense, on the diss track, which people have complained, as I stated, that she had these two niggas under her arm like fucking crutches. So in that whole space, she's dissing Remy Ma. So now this is forcing Remy Ma to go back and think about some things. Wow. What do you think, Pap? You think these motherfuckers are being funny? The type of person Papoose is, historically, even when he took shots back at Kendrick Lamar, and even Fat Joe, people forget Papoose and Fat Joe had an issue at a time, and Papoose recorded a hilarious diss record on Fat Joe. It was very funny. You all should check it out. The type of rapper and MC that Papoose is, he probably says, fuck them all. Let's get him. Now, I'm not saying this is directly what could have been said, but the type of approach he has had consistently, he hasn't never been the type to say, oh, I just got a problem with this cat, leave the rest of the dudes alone. He's a classic battler. Everybody's getting it. And Remy Ma said it herself. Anything goes in the battle. So now it's either they respond as a couple, or Remy Ma jumps out there on a solo tip. But people are really itching for Papoose to jump in the battle. And it's not to say that Remy Ma can't carry this shit by herself. She can. She's devastating, as we have seen with Sheetha, which many people have made the argument that it could exactly be better than its predecessor. Now, though, even if Papoose jumps into the mix, this is the danger for a rapper like Drake. This is a great opportunity for Papoose. Let's be real about that. Alright, this is a great opportunity for Papoose. He has an album coming out, Nasarima Dreams, which he has been saying this album was going to come out for a long time, okay? People that are familiar with Papoose, he has been saying Nasarima Dreams for a while. But anyway, it looks like he may have an actual date for this album to come out. Now, all he needs to do publicly, not so much Nicki Minaj. He could throw some slugs at the little egghead girl. That could be a possibility. But all he has to do, since all eyes are on Remy and Papoose right now, if he decides to stretch Drake on the track for a couple bars, or maybe a couple verses, or maybe a couple minutes, all right, give Canada Dry a lyrical exercise, New York style, a real thorough ass whooping lyrically. Joe Budden tried it, but nobody gave a fuck about Joe Budden. As far as many people are concerned, he's a failure in hip hop. I think Joe Budden is a dope lyricist, but the running joke, anytime anybody antagonizes Joe Budden, they immediately go to pump it up, and he hates it. So that stigma is too much on Joe Budden for people to really pay attention to him. Papoose, on the other hand, doesn't have that stench on him. At the most, people can say you never blew, but then other people will flip it and say he's underrated. Kind of like the space they put AZ in, kind of like the space they put Cormega in. Some of these classic New York rappers. Now, if Papoose does decide to lyrically stretch Drake all over the track, because of the attention that is on Remy Ma and Papoose as a couple, as a black couple, as Jesse Jackson would say, this could be a very embarrassing moment for Drake. We have to be real about that. Because Drake has been able to do something that a lot of rappers if you want to classify Drake as that, because I know some people make the argument that he's not a rapper. But I'm going to go ahead and say a lot of rappers do, is they kind of neglect their female fan base to a degree. Only when they want to, throw one song out there. It's like Jeezy. He'll make 16 cuts about slanging coke, and he'll have one cut on there for the ladies. Like, oh shit, I forgot there's another fucking gender. Let me put this shit out there. Drake has been very meticulous and guarded of his female fan base. Specifically his black female fan base. This is why back-to-back worked. This is why you had some cats that was like, bar for bar, I don't see what the hype is. But if you see how he played it, he even bigged up Nicki Minaj in the damn diss track. Is that your world tour or your girls tour? That's what I specifically remember hearing ladies repeat. They kept repeating that part. So Drake knows how to make sure he stays within the confines of his female fan base, because he makes sure he respects them. Oh, you in college, you a freak, don't nobody know, it's just between me and you, I can do it better than your other man, let me give you jewels and pearls and all this other shit. That's what he does. And it's great. It keeps you in the long run, because let's be honest, these women, they're going to continue to buy these records. They're going to show up to the shows. They can feel comfortable at the shows. Their ass ain't going to get grabbed like it would happen at some sort of DMX concert or a Jeezy concert or a Gucci concert. They ain't going to get fucked up at Drake's concert like any of these other quote unquote street niggas concerts. But on the flip side though, the idea of a black couple tag team, and then you got a woman like Remy Ma, who in the eyes of a lot of women is seen as a liberated woman. How she's able to go at dudes and she's able to deal with other females. That's why they got behind Remy Ma. She has that relatability factor. She seems like your cousin. She seems like a sister to a lot of ladies. Nicki Minaj seems like something else. Okay, a joke, a fraud, starting shit. That's what the perception is. So the fact that you have so many women online saying, I love what I see with Remy Ma and Papoose, and they're both lyrical killers. That's the double-edged sword here. That's something that's a little bit different that hasn't been quite done in hip-hop, that they could possibly get on some Redman and Method Man shit, on some black power love couple shit at the same time. So, given that Papoose and Remy Ma both have the attention of a lot of people, particularly that large demographic of females, right now, there's a possibility Drake could seriously get embarrassed. Depending though on how Papoose delivers his lyrical assault. If he does it, I'm just saying hypothetically. Like I said, you don't have to take my word for this shit. But if Remy Ma and Papoose, let's say they select a dope beat, like some of the instrumentation that we heard on the Fat Joe and Remy Ma album that they recently released. Those are very clean, crisp, strong instrumentation. And Remy Ma's bar stood out on those shits. If Papoose is able to deliver a verbally castrating verse or verses along with his woman Remy Ma on some Redman and Method Man shit, they could not only embarrass the fuck out of Nicki Minaj, but they can also embarrass the fuck out of Drake. Wayne is null and void because Wayne doesn't know where the fuck he is. He really isn't, because if you listen to his verse on No Frauds, it was all over the place. It was actually pretty much ambiguous. And his whole thing was, I'm just happy I'm in the room with the same niggas. These are my niggas I came in with. I'm glad they're all getting along. He seemed like a proud father or a happy ass big brother that all of his friends were getting along. But what I'm saying here is that at this time, if Remy Ma and Papoose decide to respond and selecting the right instrumentation and their delivery is up to par, because their lyrics is never a question, but if the delivery is something that the fans can get in sync with and they're like, yo, I like this rhythm, then that's it. It will be the final touches on Nicki Minaj's tombstone and even Drake's in the realm of hip hop. They'll be able to continue on as pop stars, but in the realm of hip hop, that's it. It will be R.I.P. So this is not to really say it's a career ending for Drake or even Nicki Minaj. She'll be able to hold up a little bit, a little longer. But if she continues to hold L's publicly, you have other people within the industry that may come out against her, then that could be it for her in the long run. But in the long run, Drake will be able to make some other moves because he has other options on the table. If Nicki Minaj chooses to grow artistically and she goes completely into singing, right, which it seems like that she's trying to do, if she completely goes into the pop territory, she has the opportunity of being okay. But again, in the realm of hip hop, You talking about these bitches are my sons, and Drake talking about I'm one of the illest lyricists in the game. If Remy Ma and Papoose give both of y'all that 1-2 punch, and especially if it's a knocking ass track, even if it's on the level of Sheether, that will make it even worse. Then yes, it will be an embarrassment. Okay, and Drake's team has been very meticulous in protecting his image. They've been very meticulous in keeping him away from public L's. Like when he wanted to battle Murder Mook, people didn't understand. Some folks said, oh, Murder Mook, he could have did it, he could have, had a chance, but it's who Drake is. Can you imagine Drake standing in the ring with Murder Mook as Murder Mook is saying these venomous bars and watching his face, watching Drake's face, because he's got one of those faces he can't hide his emotions. They would have memed the hell out of this boy. Now, one final thing here that I want to bring into the situation is Lady Luck. Lady Luck, a few years ago, a while ago, when Remy Ma was about 21, 22, she lost this battle between Remy Ma and Lady Luck. And so it's kind of like the situation when Murder Mook had lost to Loaded Lux. And Loaded Lux moved on and was seen as the pillar of the rap battle community. And then Murder Mook was always overly critical of Loaded Lux. He even tried to gauge him a couple times. They even had some diss records towards each other. Loaded Lux was able to garner some, celebrity status on a different level, bring the battle raps into the forefront when he did his infamous battle with Calico. And he said, you gonna get this work. And Jay-Z was talking about it. Lupe was talking about Loaded Lux being an alien. And so Loaded Lux was getting all of this fucking praise. All of this fucking praise. Murder Mook was like, I can still get him. He eats up his words. He raps too fast. He doesn't know what he's gonna say next. Now, the reason why I liken Lady Luck to Murder Mook is because she's still holding on to that situation. They've thrown slugs at each other, on wax, off wax. So now this is an opportune time, and Lady Luck is not a whack rapper. Don't get me wrong, she has bars. But this is an opportune time for her to say, okay, well now I can get some attention, even if I have an album coming out, right? And then there's this idea that Nicki Minaj could be floating in that territory, or Lady Luck is floating in that territory, the same way Young M.A. was embraced by Nicki Minaj. Now, if that is the case, we have to be suspicious, because even at Hip Hop DX, they tried to do a false equivalency that Remy Ma doesn't write her rhymes in the likes that Nicki Minaj has been accused of not writing her rhymes. It's a false equivalency. We can go back and through noted history, Remy Ma does write her bars. Okay, when she was in jail, Papoose was nowhere to be found, and she was still doing freestyles, pre-writtens, and some way halfway through the freestyles, pulling the shit out the air off the top of her head. So that's a false equivalency. But if Lady Luck is actually embraced by the Young Money camp, or even indirectly by Nicki Minaj, and all of a sudden Nicki Minaj decides to get a little cocky and she come back with these stronger bars, then little big egg-headed girl, you're starting to smell and look like Mark McGuire. Are you using steroids? Are you using literary enhancement? What exactly is taking place? So there's a couple elements here that are still sitting in the room that this can still kick off into another level of the battle. You have Papoose, who's very dangerous, who has the opportunity, and he has people looking at him on a level he's never experienced before, and he's not known for flopping lyrically. He could do such a verbal assault on Drake that for a good minute, piece and change, people will be looking at Drake crazy. You have Remy Ma, who just responded on Twitter around March 9th, the same time No Frauds dropped. She says, are you dumb? In other words, I will go back in the studio on your little egg-headed ass. Then you have Lady Luck trying to float near Nicki Minaj or the Young Money camp, who may assist in some areas. We have to be honest with ourselves, because ever since Safari left the Nicki Minaj crew, her punchlines have not been as sharp. You can listen to Safari, even if his delivery's off, the punchlines he says are there. Not one of the best rappers, but he definitely has punchlines. So at this stage, right now, everything's at a standstill. It could go either way as far as this battle continuing, or people saying, look, we're past it. We're past it. Anyway, folks, leave your comments below. This was lengthy here. You don't have to take my word for it, but just share your thoughts on the situation. Anyway, continue to subscribe.
Speak your speech, nigga. Speak your speech, nigga. Speak your speech.